Hi, my name's Nyla Stats. It's NY, like New York to LA. Nyla Stats, short for statistics. Okay, that's my given name, Nyla Rochelle Stats. And I just want to tell you that I beat colon cancer and I'm immune to COVID. So, there's another few little details I want to tell you about me. When I was 3 years old, my mother started me on piano. When I was 5, I sneaked the accordion into my bedroom and taught myself how to play it. And in the first grade, I performed 2 waltzes and another tune that I can still play to this day on the accordion. Anyway, I was one of those that really loved music. I really do. And in the 3rd grade, they sent me to the nearest college to study under a professor there, violin, classical violin, for 3 years. And then in the 6th grade, several things happened. They got me a guitar. They got me started on the saxophone in school and got me a zither, Appalachian musical instrument. Anyway, when I was about 7 years old, for Sunday dinner after church, every once in a while, every few weeks, we'd have fried chicken. Well, I started throwing up the fried chicken dinner, and they couldn't figure out why I was getting sick. Well, here they took me to a specialist, and they found out I was allergic to chicken fat. If it got on my outside of my lips, it would make, my throat would swell up, my eyes would swell up, my eyelids. So, no more chicken for Nyla. Okay. Well, I'm kind of like, I really like chicken. So, in the middle of the night after Sunday dinner, chicken dinner, I would go to the refrigerator, wash my hands real good, wash my face real good, take just a little smidgen of chicken and open my mouth real wide so I wouldn't get it on my lips, put it in the middle of my tongue, and savored it. I did that for 5 years before, guess what? It's a biofeedback thing. And you know what? It wasn't mainstream in the medicinal field until 1969, when I was 7 years old and doing a biofeedback. It was 1961. 8 years before, they had a consortium in Santa Monica, California about it, and the term biofeedback was coined. Anyway, tidbit. Anyway, I had another malady in that about the same time frame, 7, 8 years old, I would have these, I have to call them a spell, where I went to the bathroom and it felt like I had to go number 2 for hours. Hours I would sit on the toilet. So what would I do with my time? I would read the encyclopedias. I read the entire Compton's encyclopedia, including the annual yearbooks, by the time I was 12. Anyway, then fast forward about 19, when I turned 50, my sister threw me a big birthday party. It was huge, and there was probably 25, 35 people or more. Anyway, it was fun. Shortly after that, shortly before my birthday, my mother had a car wreck, and I was living with her. She had a car wreck, and after, let's see, 2 months in ICU, she passed away. Yeah, I was there every day, and you know what? I gave her massages on her hands and feet, and one day in ICU, she was out of it. She moved something. She moved a finger, and it got us all excited, but no good news came of that. So shortly after she passed away, I was still living in her home. I had a thing in the mornings. First bowel movement, there was a clearish substance. So after about 6 months of that, I decided I better go to the doctor and get checked out, because there was also some blood. And my GP, she says to me, well, if you've got anal blood coming out, it's not what do you call those things? Anyway, it's not that. Hemorrhoid. No, it's not a hemorrhoid. There's something else going on. You need to go to a specialist. I'm going to send you to this doctor. Okay, so I went to this doctor, and he says, we need to do a colonoscopy. So we do a colonoscopy in like the next day or 2 days, in 2 days. And he gets the results, and he says, hey, we need to do some surgery. What? We need to do some surgery. You've got a mass. You got a mass in your colon. Oh, no. So they checked it out. The colonoscopy came back. There was a 2-inch mass that was blocking my colon. Oh, no. Yeah, surgery. We didn't do, this was on a Monday or a Tuesday. They wanted to do surgery on Friday or Thursday. I said, no, I have a show to do on Friday, so we did it on Monday. Surgery took out 2 inches of mass. It was cancerous. And when the surgeon came to the recovery room after surgery, he says to me, at least you're not going to have a bag. A bag? You mean like a colostomy bag? That put me in shock. Oh my goodness. Wow. Took longer in recovery than they expected. Anyway. So they said I needed to do some chemo, radiation, or something. So we're going to send you to another colon doctor, cancer doctor. Okay. So I went to the cancer doctor, and they said, now, when's the last time you had a colonoscopy? Well, I just had it recently, so they had to have it within 30 days. They accepted me into a trial to fight cancer, and Avastin was the name of the drug, and it had been successfully used on breast cancer patients. So they were using it on colon cancer patients. And it was like every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you go and you sit for 5 hours while they give you this antifreeze in your arteries, veins, whichever it is. Anyway, I had ended up with doing a regimen of chemotherapy for 8 months. There were about 3 or 4 different times that I had side effects and they had to temporarily stop the chemo. Like one time I had sores on the inside of my mouth and they sent a recipe to my pharmacist and I had to stop the chemo for about a week and a half or two while that healed up. Another time I had a rash from my belly button up, my torso, and I had to do a sitz bath of sorts to get rid of that. That lasted about 3 or 4 weeks. But anyway, yeah, there were some side effects. My hair thinned, but I didn't lose my hair. Okay, so this whole time, from before college, my parents always gave us a multivitamin. And my major in college, the Ohio State University,
because I went down with it,
was animal nutrition under Dr. Tisdick, famous for Tiz Whiz horse feed. Yeah, he was my mentor. Anyway, when I was 16, oh, by the way, by the time I was 14, I could play very well 7 different instruments. Had written my first song on the piano at age 8. By the time I was 16, I'd written 8 songs on the guitar. Then, let's see, where was I going with this? Then I started, I got a job at the veterinary clinic. And I was 16. Okay, so that was 1970. And he got his monthly veterinary magazines that had research articles and such. And there was one article in there, and the researcher had a dog that had distemper. Now, if any of you know what distemper is like, it's terrible. It's a terrible cold that just consumes a dog. And anyway, this researcher decided he was going to give them vitamin C. He gave the dog vitamin C in the amount of 40,000 milligrams a day. And within, I think it was 6 weeks, the dog was distemper-free. Oh, yeah, this is mainstream information. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows this story. No. And why not? Why not spout the benefits of vitamin C? That's something the big pharmaceutical companies can't control and don't get any profits from. Oh. Wah. Okay, so we beat colon cancer, and I took not only vitamin C in the amount of 15, not 50, but 50 wouldn't have hurt me. What your body doesn't need is you're gonna pee out. It's that simple. Okay, you're not gonna OD on it, but take a big glass of water with however many you take. If you just take 1, take a big glass of water. If you take 5, take a big glass of water. Okay, so I was doing green tea. I was doing alkaline water. Oh, talk about a research breakthrough. You combine the benefits of alkaline water, which is, as such, if you can get the pH of your body not around 7, which is normal, but if you make it alkaline and take it up to about pH of 9 with an alkaline water machine, what happens is a cancer cell enters one of your cells. So it's inside one of your cells. And if you change the pH to 9, guess what? The food that the cancer cell needs won't penetrate your cell to allow it to get something to eat. How simple is that? The pH, a pH water machine, alkaline water machine. You can get a desktop one that's about the size of a coffee maker for about $500. Well, my sister had a friend that was a distributor of a machine that went under the sink, and I ended up drinking about 2 gallons of that water a day. We made my coffee with it, iced tea with it, cooked with it, whatever was going to be eaten or drank. If it could be used, we used it. About 2 gallons a day. Okay, so along with that, I also slept as much as I wanted to. Sleep is very important to let your immune system fight whatever's inside you. So anyway, I did that, and a multitude of other vitamins, minerals, and THC. And when I told my colon doctor about the cancer doctor about the green tea I was using, he says, "Well, from which region? From which country?" He's also the one that said, "Well, quit exercising." I said, "Quit exercising? Why? Makes me feel good." Well, he didn't want me to, he was afraid I was going to be losing weight in this trial. He didn't want me to exercise and lose any more weight. Okay, so anyway, vitamin C, 15,000 milligrams a day to fight something major, minimum. I took 3 every 8 hours, the way I did it. Okay, so along comes COVID-19, another virus. I'm not real big on getting the vaccine for viruses anyway, because I never get sick. Because I take between 5 and 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. Just because. Sometimes I forget, or I empty the bottle into my hand and 4 comes out. Okay, so I take 4 that time. Next time I'll take 5 or 6. But vitamin C allows your immune system to actually go into hyperspace. It really works. And it's over the counter. Remember? Vitamin C, a bottle of vitamin C. Okay, so I'm in a roommate situation such that the landlord lets me interview people that have read the ad that I wrote to get a roommate. Well, I got a retired dentist. This gentleman was in a lot of pain himself from a car wreck. He was retired. Okay, so the only requirement I have on my end of it, as far as cohabitating with me, is I furnish the vitamin C, 1,000 milligram tablets, and if you're a nicotine smoker, you're going to take 5,000 milligram a day just because of that. If you start feeling ill, I'll help guide you, but if you got a runny nose, take 3, 4, 5 of them. Within 15, 20, 30 minutes max, it's going to be done. No more runny nose. I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, composer, teacher. I can't afford to get sick. I keep my vitamin level up Yeah. So anyway, that gentleman lived with me for a year before he ended up getting back together with his wife, which was good. So about 8 or 9 weeks ago, I got a text from him. He'd moved out a year ago. But I got a text from him. He says, "Hey, I got tested for COVID and I tested positive. You know I wasn't ever sick." Right. He says, you ought to go get tested. You probably were exposed to it. And I know you weren't sick. Okay, so I got tested and I'm positive for the antibody. It's a COVID antibody. But I was never sick. Just goes to show Dr. Fauci doesn't know everything. He doesn't even help the American public. He's all for funds going into his bank account, though, I can tell you that. Elitist that he is. Pulling the wool over our eyes, telling us we have to get vaccinated. That's not the total answer. There's always going to be another strain, another variant, Omicron or any of the other ones. Just because you're vaccinated twice. My current roommate, for example, didn't believe me when I told him about the benefits of vitamin C. He went and got vaccinated. I don't hold that against anybody. He got his second vaccination. That kind of put him under for a minute. And then when the booster came along, he went and got the booster. Guess what? He got COVID-19. Why? Because he wouldn't take the damn vitamin C. Yeah. Don't take any vitamins if you want to get COVID. It's easy. Yeah. He's on his way out. I won't cohabitate with somebody that doesn't see the benefits of keeping yourself healthy, letting your body's immune system work. Anyway, that's what it's all about. You have to gargle every day because that COVID virus incubates in your throat. So if you have something and you feel like you need to spit something out, don't swallow it, spit it out. Get rid of it. Although the acid in your stomach will probably kill it, it's just excess garbage going in your stomach. Anyway, that, plenty of rest, plenty of water, zinc, multivitamin, and green tea. I recommend green tea a lot. It's good for what ails you. And THC. THC is good for what ails you. Of course, if you have pains, go to CBD. No THC in that. But anyway, good luck.